Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Podcast Daily. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Tom. Today we're talking about a topic that everyone cares about, but nobody really likes to hear about. Money, and especially inflation.
That's right. Everybody wants more money, but when it comes to inflation, we all just want to pretend we didn't hear it.
Have you ever felt that way? You get your paycheck today, and by tomorrow the prices at the supermarket are already dancing. Your money disappears faster than free Wi-Fi at the cafe next door.
Exactly. I once heard a funny joke. Inflation is when you take $100 to the supermarket and come back with just one bag full of vegetables.
That's the true recession blues. But don't worry, today we'll turn this boring topic into a fun lesson.
Absolutely. You'll learn useful vocabulary, hear real-life examples, and discover how to use these words in your everyday conversations. All right, now let's move on to the vocabulary preview. The key words that will help you understand today's topic better.
Exactly. We'll introduce 3 key words. One is a big general concept, and the other 2 are very close to your daily life.
The first one is inflation. It means when prices go up and the value of money goes down.
Here's an example. Inflation is rising fast. Last year, a cup of coffee was $2. Now it's $3.
And that means you need more money just to drink the same cup of coffee.
The next word is cost of living. This is all the expenses you need for daily life. Rent, food, transportation, healthcare, education, everything.
When inflation happens, the cost of living goes up. The cost of living is getting higher, so many families have to cut back on non-essential expenses.
And maybe that's why people say, going to the supermarket now feels like playing a lottery game.
The last word is budget. It means the plan for how you spend your money. When everything gets more expensive, you need to plan so you don't overspend.
For example, we need to make a monthly budget to keep track of our spending.
If you don't, by the end of the month, you'll be asking, where did all my money go?
So today we've learned 3 key words: inflation, cost of living, and budget. These are concepts that everyone is feeling in daily life right now.
Look at this. Last month, this cooking oil was $5, and now it's $8.
Oh no, that's inflation. Prices have really gone through the roof.
And you're still pushing a full cart? What happened to your budget?
My wages stay the same, but my expenses keep climbing. With this cost of living, I'll probably spend all my cash before I even reach the cashier.
Don't forget, you also need to save some savings for the future.
Savings? What's that? I'm just trying to make ends meet every month. Honestly, I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
Then maybe you should tighten your belt. Buy less chips and more vegetables.
Vegetables? Are you kidding? With this inflation, soon I'll only afford 1 onion.
Perfect. Then you can invite me for a luxury onion soup dinner.
Sure, but if you want extra salt, that will cost $5. Thanks to inflation, of course.
Now let's move on to the language takeaway. We'll explain some of the key phrases you just heard in this supermarket dialogue.
That's right. And I'm sure these phrases are very useful because you'll find them everywhere, in the news, on TV, and even when you talk with your friends about how fast money disappears.
The first word is inflation. It means when prices go up and the value of money goes down. Example, inflation is rising fast, so my grocery bill is double compared to last year.
Exactly. You just look at the receipt after shopping and you see inflation right away. Next, we have cost of living. This means all the expenses you need for daily life: rent, food, transportation. Example, the cost of living in New York is much higher than in a small town.
Yes, I used to live in New York, and every time I paid the rent, I just wanted to cry. Now let's look at budget. That's your spending plan or how you manage your money. Example, we need to make a weekly budget to avoid spending too much on snacks.
I'm sure Lisa needs a budget for coffee and pastries every morning.
You got me.
Another useful phrase is make ends meet. This means to survive financially, to have just enough money to cover your needs. Example, after paying rent and bills, it's hard to make ends meet.
I think that's how a lot of people feel right now. And close to that is living paycheck to paycheck. It means living on your salary with no money left to save. Example, many families are living paycheck to paycheck because of rising prices.
Exactly. You get paid today, and tomorrow the money is already gone. Next is tighten your belt. Literally, to pull your belt tighter, but it means to spend less money because you don't have enough. Example, after losing his job, he had to tighten his belt and cut unnecessary expenses.
As for me, I only tighten my belt when I eat too much pizza. And finally, we have the prices went through the roof. This means prices increased very fast, very high. Example, the prices of eggs went through the roof last month.
That's true. You see the price of eggs double at the supermarket and you just want to faint right there.
So today we've learned a lot of very important phrases.
Be sure to practice them and try using them when you talk about money or inflation.
Look at this. Last month, this cooking oil was $5, and now it's $8.
Oh no, that's inflation. Prices have really gone through the roof.
And you're still pushing a full cart? What happened to your budget?
My wages stay the same, but my expenses keep climbing. With this cost of living, I'll probably spend all my cash before I even reach the cashier.
Don't forget, you also need to save some savings for the future.
Savings? What's that? I'm just trying to make ends meet every month. Honestly, I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
Then maybe you should tighten your belt. Buy less chips and more vegetables.
Vegetables? Are you kidding? With this inflation, soon I'll only afford one onion.
Perfect. Then you can invite me for a luxury onion soup dinner.
Sure, but if you want extra salt, that will cost $5. Thanks to inflation, of course.
Now let's move on to the Fluency Builder. This is where we learn how to sound more natural, just like native speakers.
That's right, and these phrases can be used not only when talking about money, but also in many everyday situations.
In our dialogue, I said, prices have gone through the roof. This means prices went up very fast, very high.
And it's not only for prices. You can use it for anything that increases quickly. For example, my stress level went through the roof before the exam.
The next phrase is make ends meet. It means to survive financially, to have just enough to live on. In our dialogue, Tom said, it's hard to make ends meet with this cost of living.
And you can use it in many situations. For example, she works 2 jobs to make ends meet.
Another great phrase is tighten your belt. Figuratively, it means to spend less money, to cut expenses. For example, after losing his job, he had to tighten his belt.
But you can also use it in a funny way. For example, I need to tighten my belt after eating too much pizza.
Next is living paycheck to paycheck. This describes a life where your salary only covers your expenses until the next payday, with nothing left over.
For example, many young workers are living paycheck to paycheck because rent is so high.
And there's one more phrase from our dialogue that I really like. What happened to your budget?
This is a very natural, sometimes funny way to say someone is overspending. For example, what happened to your budget? You said you'd stop buying video games.
These phrases are super natural. Try using them in your daily conversations to practice.
You'll sound much more like a native speaker. And now listen to the dialogue once again.
Look at this. Last month, this cooking oil was $5, and now it's $8.
Oh no, that's inflation. Prices have really gone through the roof.
And you're still pushing a full cart? What happened to your budget?
My wages stay the same, but my expenses keep climbing. With this cost of living, I'll probably spend all my cash before I even reach the cashier.
Don't forget, you also need to save some savings for the future.
Savings? What's that? I'm just trying to make ends meet every month. Honestly, I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
Then maybe you should tighten your belt. Buy less chips and more vegetables.
Vegetables? Are you kidding? With this inflation, soon I'll only afford one onion.
Perfect. Then you can invite me for a luxury onion soup dinner.
Sure, but if you want extra salt, that will cost $5. Thanks to inflation, of course.
We've been talking a lot about vocabulary, but Tom, do you actually notice inflation in real life?
Of course. I think everyone feels it. For example, 2 years ago, I could take $50 to the supermarket and buy a cart full of food. Now with $50, I only get half a cart.
Exactly. Same for me. I remember when I was a student, just a few dollars were enough for a nice lunch. But now, one sandwich costs almost $10.
That's why I need a super detailed budget now. If not, I'll be broke by the end of the month.
I bet your budget is all for pizza and video games, right?
Correct. Pizza and games are my biggest expenses.
Honestly, I think this makes many people tighten their belts. They start cooking at home more and cutting out non-essential items.
Yeah, that's true. But I also see a positive side. When people have to cut back, they learn how to plan their spending better. Instead of just living paycheck to paycheck, they try to save a little.
Right. And I think this is an important life skill. Knowing how to manage money, especially when the cost of living keeps going up.
To be honest, I even write down every single expense, from coffee to bus tickets.
Wow, so careful. I'm the opposite. Sometimes I have no idea where my money goes. At the end of the month, I just ask, where did all my money go?
Probably on new shoes and fancy coffee.
Exactly. So today we talked about money and inflation, learned some useful vocabulary, and also some natural phrases for everyday conversation.
That's right. And we really want to know what you think about this topic. Are prices going up where you live? Do you also have to tighten your belt like we do?
Share your story with us by leaving a comment.
We always read and reply to comments, and it's such a joy to hear your real-life experiences.
Exactly. Because learning English is not only about the language, it's also about sharing life and building a community that grows together.
So don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss the next episode.
Now, let's review today's vocabulary with a flashcard game. I'll read the definition, you try to guess the word. After a few seconds, Tom will give you the answer and an example. Repeat with us to practice pronunciation. Ready? Now let's review today's vocabulary with the flashcard game. I'll read the definition, you try to guess the word. After a few seconds, Tom will reveal the answer and give an example. Repeat with us to practice your pronunciation. Ready?
This is when prices go up and money loses value. What is it? That's right, it's inflation. Example, inflation makes everything more expensive.
This is all the expenses you need for daily life: rent, food, transportation. What is it? Exactly. It's cost of living. Example, the cost of living in big cities is really high.
This is your plan for managing money and spending. What do we call it? Correct. It's budget. Example, I need to stick to my budget this month.
This phrase means to survive financially with just enough money to live on. That's make ends meet. Example, she works 2 jobs to make ends meet.
This phrase describes living from one salary to the next with no savings left. Right. It's living paycheck to paycheck. Example, many families are living paycheck to paycheck these days.